Hello everyone, it's Baz Khan from Tales of the Passion Crypt here in Pakistan, and I would like to introduce myself first. My name is, as you know, Arbaz Khan. I live in Pakistan, and I would. Uh, this is a channel for everything that I'm passionate about, like movies, books, music, all the things, and I will make a separate list for everything. And this is both introduction and a review. So this will be going on the top of my channel. So this will be the only this will be the only video that will be on the top that includes a review. Not every video of mine will include a review. So this is me, Arbaz Khan. I like heavy metal. I like music, books, basically anything related to art. And today I will be reviewing a book called The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Now, the first thing you should know that I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I have read Salem's Lot by him. I have read Christine, The Shining, Desperation, Night Shift, and I loved all of them. My most favorite of him was Christine. That one stayed with me for a while. Now I'm not doing a review of them right now because it has been a long time since I read them, and I might need to reread them for a review. So I just recently finished The Gunslinger, so I will be reviewing that. Now, many people hate that book for a certain reason, and that reason is the book doesn't explain much, and it's pretty difficult to read it. And I think that's the best part of it. For example, the books in the Gunslinger or the other books in the Dark Tower series are pretty elaborate. I think I haven't read them yet. I need to order them from a used bookstore online, and hopefully they will arrive soon, and I will read them and review them on this channel. Now, as I said, not many people like it because it was very difficult and not very Stephen Kingy, as I like to say, and it left pretty much everything to your imagination. Now, that is the part that I liked about it. When Stephen King was writing this book, he himself didn't know much of the story. He just wrote it along as he thought of it. So, for example, the book starts with the quote, the most famous quote: "The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed." See, the book starting in the middle of the adventure. It's not explaining anything. It could start with this: Doran Deshan was the last gunslinger before the world moved on. Stuff like that. And then he could go back to his whole life story and everything. But that wouldn't be much fun as it was discovering Roland's backstory, his life before he became a gunslinger, and which was pretty fascinating because most of the book includes him just trying to reach out to the man in black, which is a mysterious character and pretty interesting one. So between the journey of him reaching to him, Steven needed to fill in the gaps, where there were some boring parts where he would just keep on going and going and going, no action, no action is there's no action in the whole journey. So he needed to fill the gap, and when the story would end, they would be on a different place or stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that the whole book include just Roland going from one place to the another. It has some very great moments, like the scene in Tull, the town where he stays at. I'm not going to tell you what happens there. It is a very interesting plot twist, and uh, he discovers another town and stuff like that. So basically, this might be not the strongest book in the series. Of course, I haven't read them, so don't know. But it was a pretty good start. It was different than the others. Like I have read other books which start with some kind of a backstory or stuff like that. And Stephen King has said that himself, that you should always start a book with some action going on. Yes, I know that some people might not relate to the character, don't care about the action. That's why. But in my opinion, that just draws you in for the action first, and then uh, tries to give you the backstory of it, which is pretty interesting. I don't like to just go straight to the story and from the start to the end. I like stories that start with the end and then and at the start. As J.K. Rowling said, I open at the close. So he is pretty influenced by J.K. Rowling and the Harry Potter series. So maybe that's the reason why. And he has written this book pretty much ages ago. He wrote it in he published it in 1982, but he officially wrote it in the 60s or 70s, if I'm correct. And it was in little gaps, like every single chapter was like a short story in a magazine, so it wasn't a whole full on story. The first book was a continuation series. He then later put it all together and made it one book called The Gunslinger, and then he started going from there. So I loved the book. Now let's talk about the characters. Roland, or the Gunslinger, he's pretty interesting, but his character is I would say a bit difficult to grasp, or however you would like to say it. He is difficult to grasp because he is not your regular character. I mean, he's not a savior or something like that. Although he may seem like a savior at first, but he's not. He's so not. So this is the thing about him. You never know if he's good or bad. He does some good things, very good things, and then he does some pretty questionable stuff. So I would say he's a shades of grey kind of character. And then there is the Man in Black. At first I thought he was the villain. Then I thought he was a single story character. And then I thought he was the main hero. He was the guide. And then I got back to he was the villain. I'm still not sure what he was, or if he was even human or not. Oh, and let's talk about Jake Chambers. Jake Chambers is also a very interesting character. Sorry, let me just. Yeah. Jake Chambers is also a very interesting character because he is he's a kid that meets with Roland at the middle of it, and he is, I think, from another dimension that's maybe our world, or maybe just a very old version of it. I'm not sure. So uh, Jake was a very interesting character and very powerful one for a kid. And Stephen King likes to write kids as very powerful characters, and he writes them very well. And he just sort of describes childhood with a very strong, I don't know how to say this. He describes them very strongly. That's it. So uh, that's why I liked Jake, and without him, I don't think I don't think Roland could go any further without him. But who knows? It's Stephen King. He could write it. So uh, yeah. Now let's move on to the other stuff. Now there's a pretty big plot twist at the end. I will not reveal it, but you should really read it and check out for yourself. And I'm so sorry that I haven't noted that. While I was thinking, my whole other half is appearing to be right. I'm so sorry about that. That's because I have this. Let me show you. So that's that's the reason. I'm so sorry. So that's it. Maybe next time I will try to cover this up with something. Maybe like this. Yeah, that's better. So that's for today. Bye.